Hi, okay, you guys, this is that time of year where I try to tap into my psychic powers, and we're going to be talking about next year's trends, so 2025 trend predictions, and I say predictions, but also some of these are things that maybe have already manifested slightly that I think are going to grow in the next year, and then some of these are in the introduction phase of the trend cycle, in my opinion. Like, I don't know for sure, but that's just what my gut is telling me. And then some trends that might not even be in the introduction cycle yet that I just hope to see within the next year and that I'm personally interested in. I have my list going, and we're just going to talk about them all. The first one really excites me personally, and aquamarine, aquatic, everything under that umbrella, such as teals and blues, and also like water-like clear sequins that make things look like they're glistening, really takes a garment up a notch in my opinion. It really makes the piece of clothing look like it's alive and breathing, and it just breathes life into it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I just think it's so ethereal. Also, like mermaid everything as far as like asymmetrical hems that kind of have that flowy end to it that to me in my head look like it would be going into like a mermaid tail. And I kind of feel like I started seeing this trend pop up a little bit more even after last summer. And I'm a big Addison Rae fan, and her aquamarine song and video in general kind of encapsulates everything that I'm talking about here, and I'm so obsessed with it. And I think before that I even started seeing little pieces here and there of this, and especially like I was saying, like the clear sequins, things like that. And I also just think this is part of a bigger conversation as far as like nautical beach themes go, like the sailors of the fashion world, sailor hats and sailor collars, which I keep nonstop seeing sailor collars. Like, this is a trend I've been talking about for years now, but I really see it mainstream right now and not stopping. Like, Dom's Matter has the cutest sailor collar tops, and I just love them. But going back to the fisherman style, I just think everything under the fisherman umbrella, fisherman style hats, fisherman style like duffel coats, I've been seeing those pop up a lot more on the runway actually, and I think that that's kind of how, within the sweaters also, but how this kind of nautical theme reaches into the fall and winter, which I love. And then moving into spring and summer, obviously, like sardine things of the world, which are so fun to me. I don't know, I love the idea of sardine cans and I think anything like fish themed, seashells, pearly, crab and lobster print, which I've just been seeing all of those all over the runways for the past few seasons, and I love seeing them paired with other like more everyday things, because when I see things on the runway, I'm like, how can that work in everyday? And I think like really pairing them with rain boots, duck boots, fisherman style hats, everything like that really takes it to a more everyday feel. And I just love that whole umbrella of everything that comes from the ocean and around the ocean, on top of the ocean, you know what I mean? Okay, so 50 style swing coat is more so kind of like a joke, personal, selfish desire that I really wanted to see them more just because I think they're so beautiful. And I think the difference between obviously like wool coats now and wool coats in the 1950s is the shape that defines them, that brings that elevated feel to it and kind of cutesier feel, in my opinion. And I think that's something I also love seeing are like the fur collared ones and fur cuffs, and I've been seeing them a lot more lately, like people styling vintage ones of those or vintage versions of them. But I've also seen them on the runway, and I think that the shape like that Cicely Bonson gives her coats is kind of reminiscent of that to me, and then she adds her like funky ruffles and things on there. So that, but also just like genuine 50s to 60s swing coats or 50s to 60s wool coats. And I obviously love a trend that you can find easily on eBay or in your thrift stores, so that's one of the top ones for me. Another one of my favorites, tutus and petticoats. I genuinely feel it in my gut that we're hopefully going to be able to see them everywhere. And because I've tried looking at brands like specifically vintage Betsy Johnson style like this, I love the look of those. And I definitely think that as far as like high fashion goes, you see them in Cicely Bonson, not in the traditional way that I'm talking about, but I feel like the more wearable version is like a, just traditional style one that has like a little bit of volume to it, not too much. And I just think that they're so sweet, and I actually think that you can dress them down way easier than I initially probably thought, with t-shirts, jackets, whatever. Like even a denim jacket with boots would look so cute. I actually just don't think they're that far off from a full volume A-line skirt or just like a long maxi skirt in general. I feel like that's kind of seems very natural to move to bigger, bigger, bigger again. This is one again that I definitely haven't seen widespread other than brands or designers selling them, and that is the more carnival style shoulders or feather shoulders, or as Simone Rocha does them, she does them with like fur, and I think just that shoulder detailing like that it's so special to me. I just think it's so fun. And another brand that does it is Nina Bow, and she does it in more of a traditional or easily wearable sense. She also has this really cute like bird shoulder top, which I think is so lovely. Polka dots, la 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 la. I know they're not going anywhere. I don't think so, but I do think that branching off of a polka dot, going into, again, I'm doubling down on my fawn print, and then I keep seeing more and more of it, and it makes me so excited. And so I don't think that's going to stop. I just think there's something so sweet about a fawn print. Also bouncing off of that and the polka dots, I think a more Dalmatian-y style polka dot print where it's not as perfect as like a traditional polka dot, and I think that that's kind of fun as well. So that's just a little mention, slight mention. I really, really think 2025 is the year of layering all over, but especially shirt layering. And I think layering 2 shirts, amazing. 3 shirts, epic. I've seen it on Charlie XCX a ton. I've seen it on Billie Eilish. I've seen Emma Chamberlain in it. And that all really solidified it for me. And I just think it's such a great way to utilize literally all of your basics all at once, but also just play around with them in different ways, because it still is, there still are basics, even if there are 3 basics in one. A light green, like a pale green, kind of moving from that aquamarine, but even when it's not styled as very like beachy or anything or watery, I think just that color on its own, standalone, is so beautiful. These statement necklaces. This is like a whole conversation that could be had, but I never thought I would see the day when I saw someone post like on TikTok a picture of like a bubble necklace, and people in the comments be like, Loki, I missed that. And you know what I mean? Like, I didn't see that coming, and coming so quickly. And I'm neither here nor there. It got me thinking, I'm like, maybe the people need some fun around their neck, you know? And I think statement necklaces definitely have already been a thing, like this kind of style of statement necklace. But I'm trying to think, like, what about something like these? Okay, sportswear, I don't think it's going anywhere in 2025. I actually think it's going to just continuously get stronger. I love, personally, a jersey style top, and Charlie Beads does a really cute, very wearable, chill version of that, and I love it. I also think in years past, or the years leading up to now, it's been more so like strictly sportswear, like an actual sports jersey, and you style that, whatever. But I've been seeing brands like Paloma Wool do their rendition of sporty and putting that kind of visual on a sweater, and I think that that's so good. It's so good, and I've been seeing it everywhere, and I love this sweater in particular. And so I think the 2025 version of that is kind of just taking the sporty elements and adding them into other pieces and everyday pieces. And I also think Bodhi does a really great job of that also, and the way they style things is pretty. The 2025 Bohemian, we have to talk about it because it's just so prevalent in my spaces, at least online, and just in real life also, just like my taste. I think it's so cute. I think within Chloe, they've really shown how it can evolve and change within time and be interesting again, like with the peaches, the tans, the creams, and the flowier silhouettes. Also the volume and proportions, and obviously a lot of fringe and lace and things like that. And I always see Chloe as being like head talk of this conversation, and rightfully so, don't get me wrong. But I think someone who personally does it really well is C New York, and the way that they style their pieces is also just so wearable and gets me kind of out of like the full, because Chloe I feel like does full boho, maybe mixes in a little bit of like boldy edginess to it, but the way C New York, it feels very wearable as well, but also with the boho elements. And obviously suede to me is a very big sector of boho, but I also think just like in non-boho, suede everywhere, suede everything. Okay, light mention of Converse. This is my pitch for it to be like the Samba of 2025. They're comfortable. I've been seeing actually some Converse inserts. I mean, it would be great if they could just make their shoes a little bit more comfortable on the day-to-day, like as they come. This is another kind of hear me out one. If you're not normally tuning into my trend predictions, this is one that I really have been rooting for a long time, and I'm gonna keep saying it until it happens because I really think it's going to. Marching band jackets. I've been seeing them on runways, but I've also been seeing them a lot in the like celebrity world as far as like concerts go. I feel like they've been a part of a lot of really big celebrities concerts, such as, you know, Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan, Tyler the Creator. Also think Munchkinland and Oz, you know, the band there. Just kind of all sorts of marching band-esque or like nostalgic high school club memorabilia. Like, again, also like the twirler uniforms and majorette uniforms. Just like everything in this kind of sector is just... Medieval influences are really catching my eye right now, and I've been seeing them obviously like, okay, also talking about like concerts, Chappell Roan was one that when I saw that I was like, what if? And then I feel like I've been seeing like a few little things after that I'm like, I think like a medieval renaissance of some sort. Just very chainmail armor like. And I think that there could be really great ways to make that wearable, such as like collars and again shoulder kind of details and things like that, and also just like gunmetals, you know, like the color palette of medieval things when you think of that. I think that could be really fun, and I genuinely do think that we'll see some sort of that. At this point in the video, I feel like it sounds like I'm just like throwing things to a wall and seeing what sticks, but I feel like within fashion and how easily accessible it is to see so many different styles and people, things like that, it does feel like everything is trending or everything is like happening all at once. And I do think that all of those things can be true at once, but even within all of that, and you think about it, you see like certain things a little bit more than others, and that's what ends up on this list for me at least. And one of those things is like I don't even want to say circus core or clown core, but just circusy vibes, which again, I love so much. A red and white stripe, that's what I'm thinking. Even like this kind of fun makeup around your eyes, I feel like that is something that I've been seeing a lot more, and I think that playing with makeup like this is so fun and also so forgotten sometimes in my trend predictions at least. And I've been talking about crowns for a long time, but I don't see that one slowing down anytime soon either. Anything in that kind of princess realm of like even the sashes and the prize ribbons, things like that, I think will get bigger in 2025, and I hope so. I also just saw like Orion and Enya wearing like princess crowns yesterday. I'm like, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, why are we not all wearing crowns? I just stand by how fun they are, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are. I've also just been seeing a lot of 18th and 19th century influences, which really speaks to my heart as someone who loves those movies and TV shows. But anyway, hear me out, like a double pannier hip. I mean, they give body yada yada, obviously, and I think that, I don't know, I saw like this picture at one point and I was like, wow, just the way that gives so much interest to an already interesting outfit, but like it just gives that shape that I feel like a lot of things to me are like not missing, but I think would be really fun to add in. And I think that maybe the more wearable way to do something like this is more of like a hip detail that I think someone like Cecily Bonson does so well and makes it really wearable, or even ruffles at the hips like this. I also just saw Gracie Abrams in a dress like this, which they're all kind of in the same vein, right? Like that, and also like the McQueen jacket that I saw on Charlie XCX, like they all kind of give that shape to what I'm talking about in the same area in different ways. And so just something like all of these things, but to me, I don't know how I would get to wearing a pannier kind of style thing, but I just think they're so beautiful and fun. I think Coco and Claire has this outfit right here is always in my head for that, and it's so epic. Again, maybe more for evening wear. I don't know how this is going to manifest into 2025 or plus, but I hope so. Also leg of mutton sleeves, or just like a Juliet kind of style sleeve like this, where it has like the puff at the top but it goes down into a straight arm. I've been seeing a ton of that lately, and it's, again, why are we not doing more interesting shaped sleeves? I feel like there's more to life than a balloon sleeve, and as someone who loves a balloon sleeve. Also been seeing, have you guys also seen this? A lot of like almost baby or kid style clothing influences in adult clothing, such as like the envelope style necklines that, you know, would normally be on like a onesie. And also like the Bodhi runway right here, there's this literal onesie that reminded me of that. And so I don't know, let me know what you think on that. I think I like it. Again, something that I really hope for in 2025 that I think that I saw a lot of people taking on like DIYing their clothing in 2024, and I hope that that continues and gets even more like bigger in 2025. And I think that it's so riveting to be able to, you know, like, or like fulfilling, I guess, to be able to make your own things. And I think that a lot of people obviously have interest in it, but maybe it seems too far-fetched or people don't have time for it or the mental space. Like, I get that, but I hope to see more people trying out, again, sewing, crocheting, knitting, whatever it is, in next year. And I have like so many things, like I want to try felting. I've never tried things like that, and to sew more of my wardrobe in 2025. And also within that, kind of like personalizing your clothes and, you know, putting things on where you want them, putting sequins on randomly, putting buttons all over things, embroidering your stuff to have like fun little details that mean something to you, or your name on them, or patches. Also, I still keep seeing the Union Jack flag everywhere, I have to say it. And lastly, my favorite, hats. I want to see hats everywhere, and I think we will. I've been seeing them a ton on the runway, even like 50s, 40s style hats, 20s style hats, big hats, anything of that sort. I love them so much. So that's one also that I'm crossing my fingers for. And that's kind of all of my whole list. So anyway, those are all of my predictions, or just thoughts, I guess, on 2025 fashion. And I can't wait to hopefully see what comes through next year. And I would love to know what your opinions are down below, or what you're thinking is going to happen. I always love hearing your guys' thoughts, because also you guys sometimes are in different sectors of the world and online in general as me, and you see other things that I don't. And I think that that's so fun to see what's on your radar specifically. And so let me know, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to subscribe down below, I would love that, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!